This is a Rogue Media Network production.
Welcome to the show. The midterms are approaching and voters are weighing some very consequential questions. Is the economy moving in the right direction? Are families actually feeling better off? What will artificial intelligence mean? How is it going to change the American workplace? And with continuing threats overseas, at the border, and increasingly in cyberspace, how secure is America? These are all kind of issues we've talked with before with Congressman Pete Sessions, who represents Texas' 17th Congressional District, his hometown in Waco. And you are a senior member of the House Financial Services Committee and chairman of the House Oversight Subcommittee on Government Operations. That all?
Anything that's federal operation anywhere in the world, we have original jurisdiction for, and we are busy, Ann. And should be busy.
Yeah.
And should be busy. Ann, thank you. What a delight it is to be with you.
Well, it's been too
again.
long.
Well, I last time said I hoped I did well enough to get invited back. And you said, of course, Pete. And then it's now taken 2 years.
Life got in the way. But, well, I know you're busy, and I thought I really don't want to impose on your schedule. And I know you're always so good to come back on the weekends to the district. Yeah. Faithful to do that. We happen to be recording this after the McLennan County Women's Club had their luncheon, and you just spoke to them.
Yeah, I did. So I'm fired up.
So, yeah, I know. And let's talk about the midterms. As you travel across the district and talk with voters, what are you hearing back, what their concerns are?
And these are good questions. And let me say, I kind of told you ahead of time that I've been giving credence to this exact same question that you've got. A lot is happening. And I was down in Houston a couple months ago and gave a speech, and I just said, it seems like to me that over my life that decade worth of changes and issues and things that impact you now happen about every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Instead of a decade, it happens in our life on a regular basis. We're busy. America's busy. We've got a lot that's going on. And I will tell you that America's right where we want her to be. We're right in the thick of things, but there's competition. And there are things that are changing. And there are things which America is having to learn. Perhaps good, perhaps it's we don't really like it, but we're in a competitive world. We have a lot of people after us. We have a lot of people that think that what America does, they want to compete against, and it's caused us to have to sit up in our chair. So today, I would say to you that lots of crowds I'm with, I say, look, I think you're big enough. I think you're far enough along where we can tell you the truth. Today there's a lot of truth that has to be told.
Yeah.
And that is that America is not at a crossroads. It's in a foot race. It's in a foot race of whether it's pharmaceuticals, whether it's chemistry, whether it's money, whether it's AI, whether it's to the moon. I mean, these races are on, and there are people who actually recognize that the United States of America is ahead. So the question is, are we going to accept the challenge? Are we going to be prepared? Are we going to prepare our children? Well, I remember a few years ago, we just didn't have enough doctors, and this call went out for doctors and doctors. My son is a medical doctor now, just now getting through his 10 years after.
Oh, yeah, it's a long process.
Oh, it is.
For sure.
10 years after medical school, his residency, his fellowship, his training. We are up for it. So I would like to pitch to you today, Ann, that America is up to it. But we're finding that there is also competition back home. There's competition in politics. I'm a conservative Republican, as you know, and there are others that are in other parties. Those parties are going through lots of changes and upheaval too. So that's where this is really going to have a strong say in the outcome of this election. I think that it's very interesting to see where our friends, the Democrats, are coming from, and they are being attacked from within. Republican Party has had similar things where we had a divide in our party. This is a real divide. This is a real divide from America to un-American things. And so get ready. It's going to be a rough ride between now and November.
Oh, yeah. And I was just hearing that there could be as many as 100 new faces in the House of Representatives. I mean, just between both Republicans and Democrats that decided not to run again, to then
to those that lose.
Some that have decided to go and run for a higher office. I mean, all those reasons. The normal attrition, this is a much bigger class, apparently,
the numbers
of
will
representatives.
Be higher.
Yeah.
There will be 55 minimum Republicans that will not return. I didn't say how many would come, maybe take their place or not, but 55 Republicans who are currently members today will not be back.
So what does that mean? Looking ahead past the midterms, no matter whether the Republicans lose the House or not, how is your life going to be affected?
Well, that's a valid question because, as you know, I've been there a while. I've seen things. Things are easier when you know what you're doing. My general take is that new people slows down the process.
And it's already pretty slow.
Well, that's why it's been slow.
Yeah.
So we lost 55 the 2 years before. We still have a huge number. I think the average tenure is like 3 years. Average. So right now we have members that do not want to vote. Now, have we been through primaries and elections? Once you get to election seasons, it's more than just the general. It's also the primaries. And so we've had a number of people that just didn't want to vote, so they didn't have to. And because they didn't have enough votes to put the board up to pass things. So it will be very interesting next time. I will make a prediction, none that a reasonable person wouldn't make. It's still going to be that close. Still going to be very close between top and bottom Republican and Democrat. And that means you have to either decide that you're going to be really, really good at what you got, or teach your team to be disciplined. And generally speaking, the Democrat teams are far more disciplined than the Republican teams. The Republican teams like to be individuals, and Democrats tend to be team players.
Let's talk about the economy. I fill my car up, and it's you almost get whiplash because one day it'll be 50 cents less the gas than there's just such wide range in the cost of gas. So,
but you didn't have a problem paying 50 cents less.
No.
But I do know what you mean. What standard? What are we going to count on? Because that goes down can easily come back.
Right.
I would say this, Ann, that the president knows, the American people know that this has happened because of the continued fight over the Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz.
And now the Iranians are threatening to keep the strait closed.
And now
it's just kind of dragged on.
New threats, and it is dragging on. And whether we like it or not, this has taken a turn that not many people thought. They thought victory or death, probably. Yeah. Well, it has happened. So it's to be seen what really happens. But closer to $4 gas is in Texas, it does make it difficult to sell how effective you are. And yet, the knowledge that we have is, but the other side is committing suicide in front of them, or at least making it more difficult. When you go from what might be a liberal Democratic party to a communist, that upends people. And so about easily 24% negative is the net of how the Democratic Party is seen today. And so that makes it hard winning elections also. There are a lot of people that simply pontificate that it's not about winning or losing this election or the next one. It's about taking over the party. And I tend to think that's right. And we have been through that. President Trump certainly wants to take over the Republican Party.
Yeah.
And did he? Some could argue yes or no, but I think we're still the Republican Party that is pro-military, pro-free enterprise, pro-capitalism. This is a new mark in a new direction.
Yeah, it's kind of stunning, really, when you consider, I mean, we grew up learning about the evils of communism, and the fact that people who are espousing Marxist ideals openly are winning primaries and
in that
serving
party
as a mayor of a major,
in that party.
The biggest city in the U.S.
So here's what we know
it's just
about it.
I mean, I can't even believe it.
Well, here's what we know about it. We know that in New York City, less than 20% of the Democrats voted.
Yeah, it was just, that was turnout.
So it was turnout, and it is because of the problem, the chum in the water, so to speak. Lots of people never found a person on the ballot that they were for. So this is also what bodes to people who look at these things. They're going to have a turnout problem. They are going to have a turnout problem. But they did win. The communists did win. And so it's going to cause people to question that party. And that's hard.
Yeah, and then some of those candidates who said some just really outlandish things. They're trying to walk them back.
They aren't outlandish to them. They
well, I guess, things like, abolish the police, and they want to do away with the Senate and the House of Representatives, away with it.
And the Supreme Court.
Yeah,
so they really aren't for constitutional government,
no.
And that we know. But the thing that's interesting to me about this is, when they espouse this and when they do these, have these ideas, they are not winning ideas across the board. And so they do recognize that this is a long-term effort. This is something that they're going for. And so in the longer term, it will be interesting to see how they bake that in, because the old question still remains: where does it work like you're trying to sell it to work?
Yeah.
And that's a daunting question for them.
Mm-hmm. Well, Khrushchev said he would take America from within.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we've lived long enough to see that, at least the efforts toward that. I think there's also a crisis in trust and in confidence that people have. You mentioned medical profession. We're hearing all these things about Dr. Fauci and stuff that he said in private and in text and so forth, and just how the public was lied to. What does that mean for a nation, for its long-term viability, when people just can't trust? They can't trust the government. They can't trust the medical groups.
And they're deceived. So I think what it tells us, because I have oversight, it tells us that the people who were at the NIH went to sleep. We found out his wife was in charge of ethics. Now, what does that tell you? It tells you that the person responsible for ethics, it was her husband who did not report that he was making decisions, as reported, that he was making decisions that he had a financial interest in, and that he was making decisions about what pharmaceuticals would and would not be used, and to the extent exclusive or otherwise that they would be used. Now, these are always things that are accusations until someone actually gets to them. But the problem is, Ann, and you went right to it, then he should have an opportunity to stand before his accusers, not in the court of law, even though that's allowed under the Constitution, openly in our system. And he went to the United States Senate, and they asked him about the simplest things. Did you use a toothbrush today? On the advice of counsel, I will not answer that question. So then the question comes back, at what point, how strong is our effort to make this republic work when people take advantage of that rather than saying, I don't want to split hairs with you here, but I do not believe that what I did was wrong, and here's why. He didn't do that. He said, we're not going to answer any questions. And that drives the point that exactly what you're thinking about. To what end do we have if we cannot have, in a civil dialogue, people asking questions and you refuse? You were a public servant. You owe some explanation, and he has none. That does hurt.
Yeah, well, it hurts. And it's how do you build back credibility when people can't believe?
Well, the credibility comes, and you know this and I do too, because he's entitled. He is entitled to what he does.
Right.
But the real question is, was that the right thing to do? And it'll come out when the truth comes out and the facts of the case, and he will be found either innocent or guilty. And all of a sudden you have no one that's for you, and you lose your support.
Well,
he could have built his own defense.
Well, the most stunning thing very recently to come out is that they knew that second vaccine for a pregnant woman was a risk of miscarriage. And
unconscionable.
Unconscionable is right. So I need to take a break, though.
Let's do that. How about if I stick around?
Oh, so you stick around because we got a lot more to talk about, Congressman Pete Sessions about. But, car buying is a lot more enjoyable when you're dealing with people who make you feel at home. And that's what I like about it. Allen Samuels Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Stop by, take a look around, and remember what they always say, come by, let's be friends. We'll be back with more right after the break.
We're celebrating the Declaration of Deals at Allen Samuels in Waco. Right now, get $13,000 off a new Ram 1500 Lone Star, plus 2.9% for 72 months. Cash in on $13,000 off a new Ram 2500 Laramie Crew Cab, or choose 0% for 36 months, plus no payments for 90 days. Feel secure with America's best full-size truck powertrain 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty at Allen Samuels.
Come by, let's be friends.
It's the 50th annual Westfest, presented by West Feeds this Labor Day weekend in West Texas. Bring your dancing shoes and experience the power of polka with 13 bands and over 40 hours of polka music all weekend long. Westfest, just 15 minutes north of Waco.
Summer isn't over yet. Make every last splash count at Waco Surf. Catch perfect waves, float the lazy river, or relax on the beach while the kids make unforgettable memories. Stay in their hotel or private cabins, or hook up with your RV. Located just 90 miles from Dallas and Austin, set on 450 acres in the heart of Texas, Waco Surf is unlike any other water park around. Before school starts, give your family one more epic adventure. WacoSurf.com. Book your stay today and catch a wave.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Start your healing journey today at globalhealing.com and organichemp.com.
Designed to elevate the off-road experience, enabling adventurers to conquer any terrain. For 50 years, you've trusted us on your toughest recoveries, to your most breathtaking destinations, and in countless unforgettable memories.
At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today.
It's the premier charity event of the year, the 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, presented by Ascension Providence. A fun evening filled with great food and drink, dancing, a spectacular auction, and more. This year's theme is Nashville Nights, Neon Lights, and Bullfights. Get your tickets now, donate, or be a sponsor. Help support the American Cancer Society to find a cure. The 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, October 24th at MCC Highlander Ranch. For more information, go to centraltexascattlebaronsball.org.
Finance is evolving. Automation, data analytics, and AI are reshaping what finance teams do every single day. The best way to predict the future of finance is to be ready for it. If you want a head start, check out 365 Financial Analyst.
Earning an online certification is a quick and convenient way to gain industry-recognized credentials. Select your ACLS course. Print your ACLS certificate. You can print your certification wallet card. aclsnow.com.
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Start your healing journey today at globalhealing.com and organichemp.com.
If I had somebody that was looking for a car, I would definitely recommend Allen Samuels. The trust that I have, the care that they take, they genuinely want to take care of you. They really ask for your feedback when you go to the support department to make sure they're taking care of you in every way possible. So I really appreciate that they listen to your feedback.
Like Allen Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Allen Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Enjoy a quiet atmosphere with beautiful river views at the Brazos Landing, located in Waco along the Brazos River across from McLean Stadium. Enjoy homemade dishes like shrimp and grits, chicken piccata, braised short ribs, prime New York steaks, and more. Plus, enjoy a delicious dessert like creme brulee or key lime pie. Open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Brazos Landing in Waco, the only place where I-35 and the Brazos River meet.
Like Allen Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Allen Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Earning an online certification is a quick and convenient way to gain industry-recognized credentials. Select your ACLS course. Print your ACLS certificate. You can print your certification wallet card. aclsnow.com.
Designed to elevate the off-road experience, enabling adventurers to conquer any terrain. For 50 years, you've trusted us on your toughest recoveries, to your most breathtaking destinations, and in countless unforgettable memories.
At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today.
Finance is evolving. Automation, data analytics, and AI are reshaping what finance teams do every single day. The best way to predict the future of finance is to be ready for it. If you want a head start, check out 365 Financial Analyst.
And we are back with Congressman Pete Sessions here from Waco. We've been talking about the midterm elections, which is on everybody's mind, really. How does the current political environment today compare with other midterms you've lived through?
Well, and I learned a long time ago, I'll never forget the day my dad was introduced by President Reagan on the White House lawns to be FBI director. There's a tape on it that's still available. You can find it on Wi-Fi or you can Google it. And as soon as the president announced my dad, you would have thought the next question was something about the FBI director, but no, immediately they started yelling at Ronald Reagan about something else. Sam Donaldson, who is a great, probably was at the top of his game, but yelling and screaming. And I think that this has become something that I've gotten used to for a long time. And I try and take down the noise. I am for fixing, not fighting. I am for policy, not trying to get someone on something. Let's find a common denominator. And I will tell you exactly the questions you've asked, what's going to happen this time about the ability that we have to discuss good policy. I'm going to do that. And I think policy is at the heart of the disagreement. We've never really seen two parties this far apart. And when you start a long way apart, it's hard to get it closer.
Yeah, for sure. Are voters as divided that you talk to as it seems they are in Washington?
I think there is a lot of, I think it's a stormy romance time. I think every Republican cannot be counted on to be what we necessarily want them to be, and I guarantee you not every Democrat is. I think the parties have found a way to individualize their performances. I think this is true as a person who looks at this. The country used to be what's called a 40-40-20 country, 40% Republican, 20% independent. And now it's more 30-30-30, and it depends less on party and more on person. Who is in that party? Because they'll start at a base of about 30, but they got to get to 50 to win. So you see, you're counting on some people in the middle, what might be called the middle, the 40-40-20% in the middle. You had to get 11% of the 20. Now that has diluted, or it's found itself to spread out a little more. Instead of diluting, it's larger pool. People who are going to skate that pond need to get to 50. So you got to go at the 20% that's now 30. You got to find them and know how to talk to them.
So let's talk a little more about the economy. Where do you see the economy right now? I mean, I think folks were hoping that we'd have pre-COVID prices again. That's not the case.
I think you're right. I think we did want that. We also wanted the ability that we had to have people go back to work, and people all of a sudden held out and said, if you want me back at work, I need more money or want more money. And that did raise the threshold of prices. The economy is an interesting observation time to me. There are more people working than in the history of the country today. There are 7 million jobs chasing people. That means we have 7 million more jobs than people, and yet we're literally at the lowest workforce level that we've ever been at. I mean, there are so many people are employed. We need more people to the equation, and we need more people who will be willing and ready to work. So the economy is an issue. The stock market has gone up almost 20% in the last year and a half. An incredible rise. We have turned around a lot of, quote, numbers related to the stock market, the stability of the market, more people working than ever, all these numbers, and yet there will never be anything perfect. So do I think we will have stability? I think we do have stability. Do we have still more people that we want to go to work? Is this country still faced with a technology challenge? I am co-chairman and really the lead co-chairman of the Biotech Caucus. We need more people who are ready to be in biotech, to be in chemistry and medicine and physics and doctors. We've got SpaceX right out here in our backyard, McLennan County, Texas. Okay, McGregor. It is. I was out at McGregor last week with the NASA administrator. NASA administrator and I were complimenting the workforce out there for ingenuity, for their physics, for their ability to move America closer towards getting back. Amazingly, I was amazed just to get back to the moon. And do you know what the real answer is? We really don't. Somebody didn't keep the notes.
What?
It's true.
Oh, my.
We really, all we want to do is go back to the moon. And it's not as easy as it sounds.
Yeah.
And there are circumstances, mathematical equations of going to the moon. Landing on the moon is one thing. Getting back is
off
another.
of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so it's just amazing. Where's the economy? The economy is moving forward. Buzz Lightyear had it right. And you know, I grew up, you're a younger girl. We grew up under, these other things that might be called, I guess, Star Wars and others.
Yeah.
This new world is Buzz Lightyear. It is from here to infinity and beyond. And it stretches us. It stretches us with not having enough people and not having enough people with math and chemistry and physics backgrounds, because that's the world we live in.
Yeah, but we are also seeing AI is starting to cost some jobs. And so let's talk a little bit about that. What is your response to that, and how concerned should American workers be? And then the whole data center debate.
Well, I don't mind wandering to every bit of this. I think that I have a background where I can understand this. As you remember, I was at Bell Labs for a couple of years of my career in New Jersey. I've been around labs. I've been around people who experimented on things, R&D, the future, what was going to be. I was on the team that invented broadband, which was now exactly what Wi-Fi is, and this broadband need that we've got. We had to take it from, in essence, what might be a garage into a lab and make it work. Took a while to do that. We're doing this same thing right now with AI, except we're getting a little confused. There are data centers that are simply backup or redundant systems. There are data centers or the things that we build that require a lot of water, and some that require, it's just a closed loop system. But the thing that is characteristic about all of them is they need electricity, and they need electricity that is requiring Texas to at least double down. And what does double down mean? Well, here's what doubling down means. And this is where I think the governor is on target, and I'm not going to say now, but does get it. And that is, there are about 140 data centers in Texas. Now, a little bit more, some are being planned and some are in process. But if you think about almost every one of those data centers on average equals about the amount of water and the amount of electricity that a town of 110,000, Waco, Texas, would use. And Texas, Waco is the 17th largest in Texas. We're now going to add 140 Waco, Texas to the grid.
Wow.
And when you start thinking about the tremendous strain this puts on us, so all of a sudden we realize we're in trouble. That's why the governor is now, whether you agree or not, he's put a halt on this until we can make sure we can handle this electricity, the grid reliability. And this is where, in the middle of summer, it's a difficult conversation.
No kidding. Because we like our air conditioning.
We need it, and it's healthy, and it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So it is a big deal. So to talk about AI is a race that must be won. And I will go back. I've already quoted this guy, Buzz Lightyear. I'm going to quote someone else that's maybe one of your favorite movies, Talladega Nights. And you remember they had a guy in there said, if you aren't first, you're last.
Yeah.
And this guy who said that actually told us more about that than what we know. The person that comes in first, everybody else is last.
Yeah.
Because the people that get to this AI first, that is about being able to break into any computer through a series of hundreds of millions per second combinations to be able to handle things. And so we remember, you were a young girl, I was too, a young guy, when we watched the movie where they broke into NORAD. And they broke into NORAD off a simple computer. Now, it's far more complex than that. But our adversaries are the ones who are our competitors. And when adversaries are competitors, then you don't have common denominator. They want to steal every single intellectual property, money. They want to steal everything we've got. And harder, it must be a race that the United States of America runs. And it will be a linear race. It will not ever end. It will be, as soon as we can do a couple of 100 billion data points a second, they'll be to double that.
Yeah.
We must win this race to protect who we are. And so once again, Ricky Bobby was right. If you're not first,
Did
you're
you ever
last.
think you'd say that? Ricky Bobby was right.
I think he is.
Yeah,
now
no,
I'll let Ann Harder decide if Buzz Lightyear's right and if Ricky Bobby's
Yeah.
right. But this is, this is part of, I'm young enough to be able to still relate to some things that are really truisms in our world today.
Yeah, we've got to take that to heart. Well, let's broaden the discussion as you look at around the world today. What do you consider the greatest national security threat we face? Is it losing this AI race?
Yeah, the greatest national security race we have is really, as almost is in any family or in your home, yourself. We have people that do not want to go to work again. We have huge numbers of people in our own families. I'm pleased to say probably not in my family, but it is, perhaps I'm lucky. Families have people that do not want to go to work. They got used to sitting at home in COVID. We have hundreds of thousands of people and so this is where this socialism and communist parties come about. They are opposed to work. They want someone else to do the work, someone else to pay the bills, someone else do things for them. And so it is something that you recall years ago, Ross Perot arguing this point. We have to have people who are physically fit. Our United States military has a brigade worth of what might be soldiers every year who cannot pass because people cannot pass the physical fitness test. Drugs kill people. Our own circumstance, our own people skills determines a lot of this. And we're seeing this around the world. Russia does not have enough people to fight the war.
Well,
They're having
lost
to go to,
massive numbers of
well,
people.
that's
in
true,
this
but
war
they
to
still
fight.
don't have the numbers of people that we used to talk about during Vietnam, during Korea. There's so internally, we have to admit one of our biggest problems is are we growing the ability to get up and take care of ourselves and do the right things? I think that's a huge problem. And if I were to look around the world to answer the question you really want me to, I would say to you that I believe that the biggest problem that we've got is that we are faced with people it's all or nothing. They are no longer willing to compromise. And this is where world politics and world diplomacy and where people could get together at a table and look across from each other. And I know we've been through times where people wouldn't meet or decide the shape of a table. We're talking about people will sit at a table and will not negotiate. That's a huge change. That's a threat to world peace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Border. Let's talk about border security. And that was a big campaign issue in the presidential race, and obviously a winning one for President Trump. Where are we on that? I mean, you mentioned the need for more workers. So some would say, oh, well, if we open the borders, then we'll have plenty of people come in.
Very interesting circumstance. I'm not surprised you got into this. I recall years ago, we used to have a president who you knew quite well, and you liked him well, George W. Bush. I liked him, so did you. But I think he liked Ann Harder a lot. And he liked Ann Harder more than he liked Pete Sessions, and I was one of his top 100 congressmen. But with that said, during President Bush's time, we had this same or similar problem with the border. How do we take people who've come here? We did not control it as well. And a guy named Bo Pilgrim came to me, and Bo said, Pete, nobody else will help me. I've got to process 325,000 chickens a day for the economy, to feed schools, to do the things. I need help because I've got them on my neck. They are coming and want to get rid of, my workers don't want to come to work. Well, now we remove them. But my point is, we're very much at that same thing where I think we've got to come to consequences with what are we attempting to get done with the border. And right now, the president is removing people. And I think that if people are not going to report and do what they've been asked to do, they've been asked to come forward, tell us who you are, report in. I think we're entitled to know in this country who people are, if you're going to be here, and that how we're going to deal with that. So the president's stuck on this, having to remove people. We need to have a better process. And I have a call this afternoon with CSIS. That's part of my discussion. I had the conversation with President Bush. We actually, Ann, found a way to have some of these companies write a check for Social Security, and it was not recorded for any particular person necessarily, but the government got the money. I think we've got to come up with creative ways.
Yeah.
To make sure that the workers of this country are not competing against someone else. We're not taking advantage of it. Everybody's paying their way. But it'll be very interesting to see what happens. So the question is, will people now turn, they were for President Trump to do something? Is this what he wanted them to do?
Yeah. So let's talk about your time in D.C. I was just hearing a reporter talking about how much safer she feels now. What are your observations about just street safety in D.C.? Have you noticed a difference?
Oh, absolutely. My wife, until at least today, she's now starting this next week with the Product Safety Council as a commissioner. She was at transportation, which is down along the side of the river, which is where a lot of the violence was, a lot of open gang warfare, a lot of huge fights. And this is where the National Guard came. You remember we lost one National Guard member and had one critically wounded. And it is a mess. President Trump did something about the violence, and the D.C. government has refused to come along on this. We've had lots of hearings in Government Reform and Oversight, They want to say what it's their city, not ours. And we said, yes, but we have thousands of people that come to visit us, and they're getting robbed and mugged and killed, and it's a mess. And you are not your own city. You are a capital city. And of course, there's that ongoing argument. But the facts of the case are, I think everybody in the country feels safe here. I did not feel safe one day under President Biden, knowing that they were weak on crime, that they were weak on people coming in, and held it against law enforcement for doing their job. I think the president supports law enforcement. I think we've got to stand up for our families. And unfortunately, it has become a political issue.
Yeah, that is surprising, because we should all want to live in peace and security.
And respect each other.
Right.
But in particular, our children. And this is where it's very interesting. You know that very, very much politically, it's okay for a man to be in a girl's locker room. And that is not the way I think it ought to be. And so that creates a violent or hostile environment too, not just an assault. I think it is an assault for them to do that. I think it would be for me to come in to your house and to do these things. So it's all these things have become political, Ian.
Oh, I mean, some issues that you think should be a no-brainer, but it's not. It's suddenly become a political issue. Anything else on your mind that we haven't talked about today that you want to share with us?
I would still remind people, I came back from the Republican Women's Club here, and Patty Castillo, who's our president, came from Colombia, and she reminded us about her country had an earthquake and there are people hurting. And I think that we still need to have a benevolent heart. I think America needs to be good people who care about others. I think we need to look forward and keep the issues ahead of us that we're after. As you know, I am large in the Boy Scout community. I'm also large in the disability community. I have a son that's a Down syndrome adult. And I think people that cannot take care of themselves still need to be in front of us. We need to be doing things. A lot of conversation about veterans and taking care of veterans and paying attention to their needs. I think all these things keep America the greatest country in the world. So my message to you would be, what else do you want to end with? Ann Harder, you live in the greatest country in the world. And we are lucky, that God pays attention to us. We're lucky we are one nation under God, and I am proud of who I am, where I'm from, and what I do. And I know you are too.
Oh, absolutely. And of course, July 4th, we were all able to really celebrate.
How about that 250th?
The 250th, and what really kind of brings it all into focus. And yet there are some who want to just rewrite the way America runs. They want to destroy the republic and build it up again with Marxist ideals. I mean, I can't get away from that because I'm just so stunned at the lack of understanding of folks as to what communism, socialism is.
No question, and especially who you blame for our success. Very interesting. The economics are going to have a lot to do with this, economics. And economics in New York City are coming to play as they are in New York State. They literally are very interested in throwing billionaires out.
And they're
they
leaving.
do not, and they are they'll take them up on their offer.
Mm-hmm.
And then you wonder what kind of credit you get under a communist form of government. And so they've answered that question. Do you know what that question is? And the answer is, we will take private property. And that's a real rub at where America has come from. I mean, the ideals of the not just the Constitution, but the ideals of getting away from a government powerful enough to do whatever they want to do to you. And they are empowering that. Now, there's also a question, all right, who gets to be king? Where do you fit in this? Are you, as mayor, do you make the decisions? Is there a body that does that? No. We will, comrade. And so those of you're young enough to remember Dr. Zhivago. Dr. Zhivago shows up at his summer home, and the woman greets him at his door as he goes to walk in his summer home as a physician, goes to take a couple weeks off, and he is greeted by a full house of people. And the woman greets him at the front door and says, "Comrade, you had more than was necessary for you. So today it's collectivism. This belongs to other people." That is taking away a private property. And we've watched this in California, and we've watched it in the state of Washington. We've looked at it. You remember in St. Louis when the woman, they were Democrats. They owned their own home, and they had a stair-step lawn, and they went to protect their house from people and got arrested for protecting their own property in St. Louis, Missouri, where I used to live. And it's just a change of government. So things happen fast, Ann.
Yeah, of course, on every level of government, from local school boards and all the way up to working in the federal government as you do as a representative, people need to be aware of these races and the people that they're voting for.
It'll all be decided at the ballot box. It will be decided at the ballot box. And every 2 years is the election. Ideas go back and forth, and that's okay. Yeah. I'm for ideas. I've watched my colleagues, but I will tell you that one party is getting ready to fall. It is divided, it's getting ready to fall, and it was from a parasite designed to kill the host.
Well, and also, I mean, you mentioned ballot box. We were talking earlier about institutions that have lost trust. Now, can we trust the veracity of an election's outcome? We've heard enough about shenanigans.
Well, that's a good point, but I think that the openness of both parties on this issue says a lot about the answer. And number one, Democrats had, when they were in charge, H.R. 1, allowing anybody 16 years old or up to come and register to vote on the day of the election. It would pay people to run for Congress. It would completely pay for you to run. And then these darn Republicans, like myself, believe you ought to show that you are a citizen with some card, just like it would be if you wanted to get on a plane, or just like any number of other healthy exercises prove who you are, that we believe that you should be able to have to follow the law and only vote one time. So these things are getting tested, and there is a balance, but the outrageous difference between them is amazing, and that is why I'm pleased to tell you we've got to go win. So people are going to have a chance to go vote. That's how we determine which way we're going.
Absolutely. And so how can folks reach out to you if they have a concern or?
And thank you very much. By the way, Alan Samuels is a friend of mine.
Good.
He helps pay for this thing.
I figured he wouldn't mind if I read his ad.
No, he would not. And Alan Samuels is a great, he's a great man, a friendly guy. But I am here in Waco, Texas, as Alan is. I'm here in Waco, Texas. We're down at 400 Austin Avenue. We have an office, 254-633-4500. We're on the web. We're easy to get with. Call us. We have a 14-county district. We go from here to Pflugerville, out to Huntsville, Nacogdoches, and Lufkin, come back through Crockett and to Mahia, Texas, through Marlin. We're going to change, and there will be changes that happen. We're going to change about 63% of our district. Instead of going east-west, we're going to go north-south. So these are valid questions that you ask. How do I get in touch with Pete Sessions? 254-633-4500. Waco, Texas.
Well, thank you so much for your service to this district. Appreciate you sharing some of your insights with what you know in Washington and things that concern you and obviously concern people who live here in this great United States of America. But thank you again for your time.
Thank you very much, Ann.
Stay with us. There is more of the show ahead.
It's the 50th annual Westfest presented by West Feeds this Labor Day weekend. Catch the Westfest parade on Saturday, run the Kolache 5K Sunday morning, cheer on the Horseshoe Tournament, or test your strength in the Steinholding Contest. Westfest, just 15 minutes north of Waco.
Summer isn't over yet. Make every last splash count at Waco Surf. Catch perfect waves, float the lazy river, or relax on the beach while the kids make unforgettable memories. Stay in their hotel or private cabin, or hook up with your RV. Located just 90 miles from Dallas and Austin, set on 450 acres in the heart of Texas, Waco Surf is unlike any other water park around. Before school starts, give your family one more epic adventure. WacoSurf.com. Book your stay today and catch a wave.
It's the premier charity event of the year, the 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, presented by Ascension Provident. A fun evening filled with great food and drink, dancing, a spectacular auction, and more. This year's theme is Nashville Nights, Neon Lights, and Bullfights. Get your tickets now, donate, or be a sponsor. Help support the American Cancer Society to find a cure. The 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, October 24th at MCC Highlander Ranch. For more information, go to centraltexascattlebaronsball.org.
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Designed to elevate the off-road experience, enabling adventurers to conquer any terrain. For 50 years, you've trusted us on your toughest recoveries, to your most breathtaking destinations, and in countless unforgettable memories.
Finance is evolving. Automation, data analytics, and AI are reshaping what finance teams do every single day. The best way to predict the future of finance is to be ready for it. If you want a head start, check out 365 Financial Analyst.
At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today.
Enjoy a quiet atmosphere with beautiful river views at the Brazos Landing, located in Waco along the Brazos River across from McLean Stadium. Enjoy homemade dishes like shrimp and grits, chicken piccata, braised short ribs, prime New York steaks, and more. Plus, enjoy a delicious dessert like creme brulee or key lime pie. Open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Brazos Landing in Waco, the only place where I-35 and the Brazos River meet.
We're celebrating the Declaration of Deals at Allen Samuels in Waco. Right now, get $13,000 off a new Ram 1500 Lone Star, plus 2.9% for 72 months. Cash in on $13,000 off a new Ram 2500 Laramie Crew Cab, or choose 0% for 36 months, plus no payments for 90 days. Feel secure with America's best full-size truck powertrain 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty at Allen Samuels.
Come by.
Apollo Neuro is a new kind of wearable that helps your body recover from stress, that helps you calm down and feel better. You sleep better, and you can get back to being yourself. Learn more at apolloneuro.com.
I had a panic moment running my hands through my hair, and that's when I found Keeps. Keeps gave me the results that I was really looking for.
I definitely felt a lot more confident once I saw my hair coming back.
Keeps has given me the control of my hair back.
Get your first month free at Keeps.com.
It's not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro.
This is a Rogue Media Network production.